Welcome in, everyone, to the Football Friday. It's great to be here, presented by Angels Alive. Um, we'll see if Mark joins from the road or not. I know he's busy trying to get back here to Athens, so probably just me today, but that's all right. We'll roll through this show and get y'all onto your football weekend. So, had a couple games to recap from the weekend. One last bowl game before the college football playoff national championship on Monday. And that's what we're going to start off with here. Tax Act Texas Bowl, Kansas State rolling LSU 42-20. I knew this was going to happen. You know, I had K-State -7. That was easy money. Skylar Thompson looked fantastic. 259, 3 touchdowns, 75% completion. Wasn't tested at all or much during the game. You know, LSU was ravaged by COVID and injuries, so and transfers too with the new staff coming in, Brian Kelly. But they started a wide receiver, John Trey Kirkland, at quarterback. Not too bad. I mean, 7 of 11, that's pretty good. 138 on 7 completions is also pretty decent. And 3 touchdowns. You know, he threw 2 interceptions, but I remember his one ball that ended up being an incompletion, but it was a beauty. It was this perfect spiral, like 50 yards down the field. It was crazy. High school quarterback playing wide receiver at LSU now. But they wanted to, the reason being, they wanted to give Nussmeyer, I believe his last name is, they didn't want to burn his red shirt year because he had already played 4 games. So he was available, but they didn't play him because they didn't want to use up his red shirt year. Deuce Vaughn, my favorite player from Kansas State, also played outstanding. 21 carries, 146 yards, 3 touchdowns. Also caught 2 balls for -3 yards and a touchdown. And defensively, I'm going to go with LSU's defensive back, Pig Cage. Yes, that is a fantastic name, Pig. 6 tackles, 4 solos, 1 sack, and 3 tackles for loss. Kansas State cover -10, over 47 easily. Monday Night Football, Steelers getting the win in Big Ben's final home game at Heinz Field, 26-14. Najee Harris with a game-sealing 37-yard touchdown at the end of the game. But it also was pretty good game for Najee as well. His career best, 28 carries, 188 yards and a touchdown, 3 catches, 18 yards as well. You know, Ben wasn't that great. A little, 52.2% completion, only threw for 123 yards on 24 completions. 1 touchdown and a pick, but it's okay, Ben. You got me. Deontay Johnson, first touchdown scorer. That's what we really care about. Baker struggled mightily in this game, excuse me. Did throw 2 touchdowns and 2 picks as well. Only 185 yards for Baker, getting rocked all night by the Steeler defense. Not much to say about in the receiving game. Donovan Peoples-Jones, your leading receiver. Nick Chubb didn't factor in much of the game, had a great average, 4.8, but only 12 carries, 58 yards, no catches. It was a weird game script for Kevin Stefanski and the Cleveland Browns, but defensively, I mean, what a night. What a night for the Steelers defense. They had 10 sacks overall, I believe. And TJ Watt, I mean, how is he not the defensive player of the year? Look at that line. 5 tackles, all of them solos, 4 sacks, 3 tackles lost, 2 pass deflections, and 5 hits on Baker Mayfield. Steelers had 10 9 sacks, 10 tackles for loss. Just absolute dominance by the Steelers defense all night. Alex Highsmith had 2 sacks. Clowney had a nice game himself for Cleveland. Cameron Hayward was his usual force. And Witherspoon with a pick there. But TJ Watt, man, he now needs 2.5 sacks against the Ravens this weekend to break Michael Strahan's record. I know, though, people will say, well, he had 17 games. Again, that's not his fault. It's not. It's not the player's fault that they have an extra game to break records for. So what? Play the game. It is what it is. All right. NCAA news. Oh, Steelers +1 covered, under 43 hit in that one. NCAA news, just a couple quarterback transfers that I found out about. UCF quarterback Dylan Gabriel headed to Oklahoma. LSU quarterback Max Johnson, he is headed to Texas A&M. A&M's quarterback Zach Calzada, he is going to Auburn. And then USC quarterback Keaton Slovis headed to Pittsburgh. Sorry. To replace Kenny Pickett. See if that water helps or not. We do have XFL news. Yes, it is January 2022. That means, just like The Rock said in his Instagram post, we are 12 months away now from XFL 2023 training camp. It is going to be electric next spring, and I am so excited to see what The Rock and his team put out there on the field. NFL news, some off-season stuff here. The Packers likely to franchise tag wide receiver Devontae Adams this offseason. We'll see where he goes with Aaron Rodgers. Aaron Rodgers staying in Green Bay, possibly. We'll see how that all works out. The NFL is also looking at contingency plans for Super Bowl 56 this year in Los Angeles at SoFi Stadium. With the rising COVID numbers, they're not sure if the city will shut down, kind of like it did at the first height of the COVID pandemic last year. The Jaguars head coaching search is off and running. They interviewed former Colts head coach Jim Caldwell earlier this week, and they are also going to interview Alabama offensive coordinator Bill O'Brien after the national championship on Monday. Big news, Washington football team, they are announcing their new name and logo on February 2nd. So 2-2-22. A lot of twos there. Twos are wild. The COVID additions this week, Bengals hit hard, also Cowboys, but Bengals safety Von Bell, defensive end Trey Hendrickson, center Trey Hopkins, running back Joe Mixon, Browns running back Dearness Johnson, Packers offensive tackle Billy Turner, Vikings tight end Chris Herndon, Jets offensive tackle George Fant, Eagles tight end Dallas Goedert, Niners defensive back Jimmy Ward, Washington football team corner William Jackson III, Cowboys linebacker Micah Parsons, left tackle Tyron Smith, corner Anthony Brown, Bears quarterback Justin Fields, Steelers center Kendrick Green, and Panthers corner Stephon Gilmore. COVID activations, though, Washington football team running back Antonio Gibson and guard Eric Flowers Sr., Steelers wide receiver Deontay Johnson, Eagles center Jason Kelsey, Packers corner Jair Alexander. Guys placed on IR this week, Seahawks running back Alex Collins, Broncos quarterback Teddy Bridgewater, and then Some guys returning from IR or designated to return. Cowboys tight end Blake Jarwin. Titans running back Derrick Henry. Massive get back for them in the playoffs. And Cardinals defensive lineman J.J. Watt. The Niners also opened the practice windows for corner Emmanuel Mosley and wide receiver Mohamed Sanu Sr. Some injuries here. Chiefs offensive tackle Lucas Niang, he is done for the year, torn patellar tendon. Broncos offensive tackle Dalton Reisner, he is out this week, suffered partially torn UCL, but luckily for him, won't need surgery 3 to 4 weeks for Dalton Reisner. 49ers quarterback Jimmy Garoppolo doesn't need thumb surgery and could possibly play this week. We'll have to see how that works out. Looked good in practice. Browns quarterback Baker Mayfield, he is out this week. He's going to have surgery on his torn labrum effective January 18th or 19th, I believe. Case Keenum will start in his place at home against the Bengals. Lots of quarterback news here. Vikings. So guys that are going to play this week, Vikings quarterback Kirk Cousins. Bears, they will start quarterback Andy Dalton with Justin Fields on the COVID list. Ravens to start Tyler Huntley with Lamar still not good to go. Packers are planning to start Aaron Rodgers. So we'll have to see how that goes. And Bengals, they are not playing quarterback Joe Burrow this week. Rams, they are getting a big boost on offense. Running back Cam Akers expected to play this week. Just months after, I believe it's about 6 months. No, it's probably 7 or 8 months after tearing his Achilles in the summer. So good for him. Chiefs running back Clyde Edwards-Helaire, he is out once again this week. So Darrell Williams to start at running back. Cowboys, 3 people out this week. Corner Trayvon Diggs with an illness. Safety Jaron Kearse with a hamstring. And running back Tony Pollard with a foot injury. All didn't travel to Philadelphia. And some extensions here. Washington football team signed left tackle Charles Leno to a 3-year, $37.5 million extension. Patriots signed safety Adrian Phillips to a 3-year, $12.75 million extension with $7.25 million guaranteed. And then just today, the Texans signed running back Rex Burkhead to an extension through the 2022 season. That is all the NFL news. Just one last check on the Twitter feed. Antonio Brown went unclaimed on waivers, unsurprisingly. All right, college pick standings. We only had that one, the one bowl game. So, actually, give me a sec. My bad. I did not update these, but Chris and Mark, they tied at 6-3. They beat me by 1. So they are still leading by a mile. I finally got over 300 wins though, which is cool. Yeah, so Chris is at 325 and 131. Mark is not far behind. Actually, he is pretty far behind at 360. Yeah, I think Chris has got it. He's been our college champ all year, so he's got it. And I am over the 150 loss mark. Yay me. But yeah, Uh, those are the college pick standings. Chris, Lone Wolf to Baylor in the Sugar Bowl. And Mark, he Lone Wolf Central Michigan, which he won. Michigan, who lost, and then Arkansas, who also won. So he went 2-1 and hammers there. And I went 1-1 in my Lone Wolves. I Lone Wolf Oklahoma State, who beat Notre Dame. And in the Fiesta Bowl, and I Lone Wolf Utah, who lost to Ohio State in the Rose Bowl. So and for the NFL pick standings here, also I think those ones might be updated actually. No, they aren't. They are not, but it doesn't change much. You know, we got Mark 13-2. I went 11-4, and Chris is 11-4. So not much change. Mark gained 2 games on us. You know, so he goes to 132, 73-1. Great weekend for Mark. I'm at 128 and 77. Mark's really pulling away from us. He's I think he's got us in the bag if I'm talking to Chris. And Chris went 11-4, so he's at 26 and 79. Okay, so those are the updated NFL pick standings. Mark's still 4 games up on myself, 6 games up on Chris. So let's get Lone Wolves last week. Chris lost his only Lone Wolf was the Chiefs. Mark got his, which was the Seahawks. And then I went 1-2 in mine. So I lost the Dolphins against the Titans, the Panthers against the Saints, and then I won the Cardinals against the Cowboys. This week, though, Chiefs at the Broncos. Tomorrow, we got 2 games tomorrow. Chiefs at Broncos. We're all in on the Chiefs. Broncos have nothing to play for. Chiefs have everything to play for. They are still fighting for that number 1 seed after they lost last week in Cincinnati for that number 1 seed when the Titans grabbed it out from under them. So they have everything to play for. They're going to play their starters and try to get that bye week. Over under here is 45. And I think I like the under. I don't know how much Drew Lock is going to be able to do against the Chiefs defense that's playing pretty well right now, despite giving up 400 yards to Joe Burrow last week. That one is at 4:30 on ESPN, ABC, and ESPN Plus. The Cowboys at the Eagles NFC East showdown. Got my Eagles jersey on, my Super Bowl hat on. Yeah, we're all on the Cowboys. I'm not sure who's all playing for the Eagles. You know, they don't have much to play for. The highest they can get is number 6. They're sitting at 7 right now. The only way they get the 6 is if the Niners lose and the Saints win and the Eagles win. So they're already into the playoffs. I think they'll be content with sticking and seeing whichever way it plays out. Actually, they can lose, and if the Saints get into the playoffs, if the Saints get into the playoffs, not the Niners, the Eagles would be sixth, sixth place, I believe. And actually, yeah. So we're all on the Cowboys. They're down some people too. They're fighting to get back into that number 2 spot, which is still a possibility for them if they can win and have the Rams and Bucks lose. So, the over-under for this game here is 43.5, and I'm going under. Like I said, I just don't know who's playing for each team, so under 43.5. And 8:15 ESPN, ABC, ESPN Plus. And before we go to the Sunday 1 o'clock games, I forgot to mention the playoff scenarios for the weekend. I'll just start with the NFC because it's the easiest. NFC West. Cardinals can win the NFC West with a win and a Rams loss. Rams, they just need a win or a tie, or the Cardinals lose or tie. As I mentioned before with the Eagles seeding situation, the Niners, they get in with a win or a tie, or they can get in with a Saints loss or a tie. Now, the Saints can only get in with a win and a Niners loss. So they need help from the Rams. So that Rams-Cardinals game has a lot of implications on it. And luckily for us, the Rams-Cardinals, the Rams-Niners game, and the Saints-Falcons game will be played at the same time on Sunday. AFC is a lot more complicated. So let's start off. The AFC East. The Bills, they win the division with a win or a Patriots loss. Or if Patriots and the Bills both tie, they also win the division. The Patriots, they can clinch the AFC East with a win and a Bills loss or tie, or a tie and a Bills loss. They can also get the number 1 seed. Yes, the Patriots. Can you imagine the Patriots miraculously steal the number 1 seed out from under everyone? They need a win, a Bills loss or tie, and a Chiefs loss and a Titans loss. So Bills, Chiefs, Titans all need to lose in order for the Patriots to get the number 1 seed. The Chiefs can get the number 1 seed with a win and a Titans loss or tie, or the Chiefs can tie the Broncos and have the Titans lose. The Titans, all they need to do is win, and they have the bye. Easiest path there. Or they can tie and have the Chiefs lose or tie. Or 2 other longer shot things. The Chiefs lose, Bengals lose or tie, and the Patriots lose or tie. And or the last scenario, Chiefs lose and the Bengals lose or tie, and the Bills win. So those are all 4 scenarios how the Titans get the number 1 seed in the AFC. Let's go down to the wild card situations here. Or actually, no. The Bengals, they can still get the number 1 seed as well. They need a win and losses from the Titans, Chiefs, and Patriots. Patriots can also tie. They could also get a win and a Titans and Chiefs losses, and the Bills win, and the Bengals would be the number 1 seed in the AFC. Now, the wild cards. So the Colts are the 7 seed, are the 6th seed right now. They need a win or a tie to get in, or Chargers loss and a Steelers Ravens tie, or a Chargers loss and a Steelers loss and a Dolphins win over the Patriots. The Chargers, who are currently 7th in the AFC, they need a win or a tie, and they are in also, similar to the Colts. That is their only option, though, is just win or tie. That's their only way to get in. The team they are playing, the Las Vegas Raiders, they are a win and an in situation. They win, they're in. They can tie and have the Colts lose. That is another option. Or the Colts lose and the Steelers lose or tie. That is also how the Raiders can get in to the playoffs. Going to the Steelers, their one scenario they need a win against the Bengals or against the Ravens and a loss by the Colts in Jacksonville and a no tie. They need the Raiders and Chargers to not tie Sunday night. And the last team that is still standing, the Ravens, they need a lot. They need a win against the Steelers, and they need the Chargers to lose to the Raiders, the Colts to lose to the Jags, and the Dolphins to either lose or tie the Patriots this weekend. All the NFL playoff scenarios. So moving on to Sunday 1 p.m. game, Steelers at Ravens, massive game here. I am lone wolfing the Steelers. Why not the Steelers? Why not in Big Ben's final hurrah? You know, they're not going to know that they are into the playoffs until after their game. Colts are playing at the same exact time. So that's the first hurdle. Or that's the second hurdle, I should say. The first hurdle is getting a win in Baltimore. Tyler Huntley starting has played very well in his couple of games this year. But I think the defense for Pittsburgh gets the job done. They know what it means. They know what it means to Big Ben, to the Steelers organization. Mike Tomlin's still going on 15 years strong now of no losing seasons. So make it a winning season. Make it to the playoffs, and you never know. Over-under is 41 here, and give me the under. Give me the under 41. The defense, dude, I'm telling you, the defense, TJ Watt is going to break the NFL sack record in this game. The other game in the AFC North on Sunday, Bengals at the Browns. Again, I'm lone wolfing the Browns. Look, this is a matchup of backups. It's Case Keenum for the Browns versus Brandon Allen for the Bengals. I'm going with the better quarterback. Case Keenum has looked pretty decent when he's had to play this season. You know, he played in that Thursday night game against Denver. They beat them. Granted, that was a lot about Dearness Johnson, but the other game he played a couple weeks ago against the Raiders, they did end up losing, but Case Keenum drove them down and got them the lead late in that game. So get the better quarterback, and that is Case Keenum. Over under here is 38. That's pretty bad. 38 is pretty horrendous, but I don't know. I'm probably gonna go the under, but you never know. I would not touch that line for this game here. Packers at the Lions, NFC North matchup here. We're all on Green Bay. Aaron Rodgers is playing in this game. That's why I'm going with the Packers. He should not win MVP. I will say that again. He should not win MVP. There are other more deserving players this year. And, yeah, I think he'll be fine. And even if he gets pulled at halftime, I still think the Packers are good enough as a team with Jordan Love to cover the 3. Over under is 44.5. Give me the over. Other NFC North matchup, Bears at the Vikings. Yeah, we're all on the Vikes. Andy Dalton is starting for Chicago. They are probably better off starting Nick Foles because he actually won a start. That wasn't Justin Fields this year. So yeah, I'd go with the Vikings. They're at home at US Bank Stadium. So yeah, and Kirk Cousins is starting for the Vikings too, so I think that's a big boost. I think you could probably take them -5.5. It would be close, I think, but I think they could get it done there. And over under for this one is 44. Give me the under. Give me the under. Bears defense pretty good. NFC East matchup, Washington football team at the Giants. This is their last game being called the Washington football team. Yeah, we're all on Washington. No surprise. Jake Fromm more than likely going to start for the Giants, I would think. Whether it's him or Mike Glennon, I don't think it matters. The Giants are terrible, absolutely terrible. And I don't think there's any chance that they win, even at home against Washington. So over-under is, again, another 38 here. Give me the under. Colts at the Jags. Yes, I am lone wolfing the Jacksonville Jaguars, y'all. I am taking the bait. This may be a homer pick because I need it to happen for the Steelers to make the playoffs, but I don't care. Look, the Indianapolis Colts have not won in Jacksonville in a long time. They have not won in Jacksonville since, let's see here. "2014, y'all, was the last time that the Colts won in Jacksonville. And that was a thromping 44-17. So, look, I am not putting it past them to beat the Colts in Jacksonville. Last year they beat them in Jacksonville 27-20 in September, in September, but still, it's fine. They played well the first meeting in Indianapolis. They only lost 23-17. So I would not put it past the Jacksonville Jaguars to go out and beat the Colts this weekend. A 15-point spread, that's too much. Take the points with the Jags. And let's go Jacksonville. Let's go Trevor Lawrence. Over under for this AFC South matchup here is 44. Give me the over. Other AFC South matchup, Titans at the Texans. No one's taking the bait on Houston in this game, but I would say cover the 10. My boy Sam Richmond on Twitter, he loves he likes the Texans +10 this weekend, so I'd say roll with them. Why not? Why not take the points with the Texans? They played pretty well, especially at home this year. Tennessee is rolling. They have a lot to play for with the number 1 seed in play still. All they need to do is win, and they are the number 1 seed in the AFC. Over-under is 42.5. Give me the over. I think it's going to be a high-scoring game in Houston. All right, 425 games here. Starting off, NFC South, Panthers at the Bucks. No one's taking the Panthers. I know it sucks. The season's been over for a while. Carolina just trying to ride it out at this point. But Tom Brady's trying to get up to the number 2 seed if he can. That would require them to win. and the Rams to lose. So that's what he's trying to do. They play at the same time. He won't know until after their games are over. But anyways, yeah. We are looking at the Bucks trying to get to the number 2 seed and Brady trying to pad those stats for another MVP possibility. Over under here is 41.5. Give me the over. I think the Bucks score in the 30s. Panthers get maybe one score, 10 points, something like that. The other NFC South matchup, Saints at the Falcons. Saints must win to have any hope in the playoffs. And they'll get it done in Atlanta. You know, Taysom Hill has not looked the greatest. He got the win last week against the Panthers at home and then going on the road to Atlanta this weekend. I think he can get it done and they should cover. The Falcons are a surprising 7-9. But I think the Saints get it done and they at least do their job towards getting into the playoffs. Over under here is 40. So 40 points under. I don't like it, but under. I'm taking the under in that one. AFC East Jets at the Bills. Nice game for the Bills to have to win the division on, especially at home in Orchard Park, New York. Yeah, it should be a rather simple win for Buffalo in this game. I'm not saying they cover 16. That's too much. That's too big of a point spread for a divisional game. But the Jets are looking towards next year. So over under for Bills Jets 40.5. And let's hit the over button. Niners at the Rams. This is the most intriguing game of the weekend, in my opinion. Has the most riding on it in the NFC. Rams, they win. They're NFC West champions. And they keep the Cardinals at number 5 in the NFC. They lose, and the Cardinals win against the Seahawks. The Cardinals jump up and win the NFC West. Rams are now your 5 seed. Have to go on the road in the playoffs instead of stay home at SoFi Stadium. The Niners have a lot to play for as well. They are a win-in scenario. If they win, they are into the playoffs as your number 6 seed. If they lose, they could possibly be not in the playoffs if the Saints win. That would be a lot of stuff. It's crazy. Crazy we got on the last weekend of the regular season here. So we're all on LA. I was hesitant. I was close to going Niners. I could not deny my fandom of Cooper Kupp. So Cooper Kupp, I don't care what they say, 17 games or not, he'll break the records. Rams, give him the records. 12 receptions and 136 yards is all he needs to break Michael Thomas's single season reception record and Calvin Johnson's single season receiving yards record. So give it to him, Rams. Give him the records. 12 catches, 136 yards. Against a porous Niners secondary. Over under is 44.5. Give me the over. Again, Rams want Kupp to break these records. So Patriots at the Dolphins. Oh, yeah, I'm lone wolf in the Dolphins. That's fine. They're in Miami. Bill Belichick struggles in Miami. It's not a Tom Brady thing. It's a Bill Belichick thing. He struggles in Miami. And it's a big game. The Dolphins are going to be up. They're eliminated from the playoffs somehow. I don't know how. They're still 8-8, just like the Ravens. So I don't know how they're. But anyways, look, again, Bill Belichick struggles in Miami. The Dolphins are going to give him everything they have to not let the Patriots win the division. They don't want to see the Patriots win the division either. So go out, win it with your defense. Tua, don't turn the ball over, and you will win. Over under is 40 here. 40. Give me the under. Dolphins win with defense, like I said. Seahawks at Cardinals. Yeah. All on Arizona. It's pretty simple. Seattle proved a lot last week when they destroyed the Lions. I thought maybe other people thought they didn't prove anything because it was the Lions, but I think the Cardinals are going to win. They're going to push the Rams to win the NFC West by beating the Niners. And I don't think the Rams lose like we just saw, but it's possible against a more difficult opponent in the Niners than the Seahawks are at this point. So Cardinals are going to have to do their job and possibly could be NFC West champs by the end of this one. I hope it sets up Cowboys Cardinals like it was last week in the first round of the playoffs. So the Cardinals can beat them again. Over under is 48 in this one, and I'm going over. Give me the over. All right, last game here. Sunday Night Football. This is the second most intriguing game. Like I said, I thought the Niners-Rams was a big one. This one is also massive. This is a win in it. This is your only game this weekend where both teams are a win-in scenario. Now, Chargers can get in with the tie. Raiders cannot get in with just a tie. They need help from the Colts to lose. But I am on the Raiders, and I think Rich Bisaccia has done an outstanding job as an interim head coach by even getting the Raiders to this point to a 9-7 record and a winning season. And I just think that he will be able to get it done at home at Allegiant Stadium with the black hole around him. And they are going to swallow up the Chargers and get the win and go to the playoffs. Over under is 50. And I'm going under. I don't like 50 in this game. Under 50 for Chargers Raiders. All right, best bets of the week. I went 1-2 again last week. There is no chance to get over 500. So we'll see if I can get 3-0 this week. Not very confident. These are all relatively low spreads besides Washington, but give me the Steelers plus 3.5 at Baltimore. Again, I like the Steelers defense in that game. I think if they can kind of do what they did against the Browns on Monday, they should be good to go with that spread. Like I said, with the Packers game, -3, I think they can cover that. Even if Rodgers gets pulled at halftime for Jordan Love, I think they're still good enough as a team overall that they can cover -3 at the Lions. And then Washington, they should annihilate the Giants like everyone's been doing with Taylor Heineke and co. So that defense should give Mike Glennon and or Jake Fromm problems. -7 there. Dog standings. Yeah, we're all tied. Chris lost last week, man. Lock standings, locks, not dogs. Best bets last week. I had Eagles -3. That hit at Washington. I lost on Bucks -13 at the Jets, and I lost on Rams -3.5 at the Ravens. But last week, Chris lost to the Colts. His lock was the Colts. They lost to the Raiders. Mark and I, we were on the Eagles. They got it done in Washington. So, Mark and I were tied going into the last week of the regular season. Let's see who comes out on top. Chris and Mark, they are on the Cardinals against Seahawks. Yeah, sure. I think they'll win. Like we saw, we all picked the Cardinals, but I don't like that game as much as I do Washington. Washington over the Giants. I think that is the lockiest of locks this weekend, and I'm going to bet it. Bet it like I can't bet anymore. Give me Washington. Their last game as a football team. Or as the football team, I should say. As my lock. Dog standings. Man, Mark is killing it now. He's on a streak, just like he was early in the season, and he has taken the lead back handily by 4 games over Chris. I'm a paltry 7 games back. I have no shot anymore. Chris still has somewhat of a shot, I guess. But last week, Chris, he had the Lions +7 at Seattle. They lost and didn't cover. And I had the Panthers +7 at New Orleans. They lost and should have covered. They lost by 8. Bad beat there. And then Mark, he had the Bengals +5 against the Chiefs. They won outright. So this week, Mark and Chris, they are in lockstep on the Bengals. Mark going back to the Bengals. Well, +6 at the Browns. I don't know about that. I'm picking the Browns, so I don't feel great about that one for them. But I'm rolling with the Steelers +3.5 at the Ravens. I feel like I picked the Steelers quite a bit this year. But let's ride one last time in the regular season, Pittsburgh, and get to the playoffs in Ben's finals season here. So that is all for today, y'all. We will be back next Friday. I will be back in Milwaukee next Friday for Football Friday. We will be previewing Wild Card Weekend and also recapping the College Football Playoff National Championship on Monday night, which we'll be previewing on the Monday show. As always, we'll have all your NCAA and NFL news as it comes. And don't forget to follow us on all our social media at FAA Podcast on Instagram and Twitter. FAApodcast.com is our website. You can also check us out here on YouTube, Facebook, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and iHeartRadio.